Settling in for a Sunday night of sport, starting with highlights of today's two fifth-round FA Cup ties, Chelsea and Newcastle and Burnley versus Blackburn. Match of the day 2 in 45 minutes here on BBC Two after Time Commanders.
It's the 13th century BC. A heavily fortified citadel sitting on the shores of the Aegean Sea is attacked by a Greek invasion force led by Agamemnon, king of the Mycenae. The Greeks' mission is to rescue the abducted wife of the king of Sparta, the beautiful Helen. Will the walls of this great city give up their famous captive? Tonight, a team of computer gamers from Glasgow, watched over as usual by our military experts, find out on Time Commanders.
Welcome to the show that can change the course of history. And hoping to do just that tonight is a group of computer gamers from Glasgow. Music student Brian Reed says he's always been interested in war, battles and killing.
I think personally I will cope brilliantly under pressure. Ice cube cold, and although no physical violence will ever happen to me, it's just a game.
Stephen Creevy is the team's party boy and plays the drums in a band.
If I had to use one word to describe a team, I'd describe them as a shambles, because they're all over the place.
Steve Nodnewu recently quit his engineering course to pursue a career in football.
The reason I actually want to be on Time Commanders is I'm a fan of strategic games as well. I play computers all the time, and I'm quite a competitive person, so I just like to challenge myself against the computer because I've heard it's quite difficult.
And David Farmer, who the rest of the team describe as geeky, but a tactical genius.
My top tactic would be to play the game smart, think about what I'm doing before I do it, and if something happens to change my carefully constructed plan, then I wouldn't be afraid to have a last-ditch effort or bet everything on what I'm doing.
Together, the gamers are tonight's Time Commanders. Welcome, team. Good to have you here. Now, you do play computer strategy games, so that, do you reckon, is going to come in useful tonight? Yeah. I mean, I've got to say the key thing is teamwork. So being good at these games on your own isn't necessarily a good thing, but we'll see how it pans out. Who's going to be the brains of the bunch?
Brian, no problem. Me, apparently.
Ah, well volunteered. Well, hang on. Why do they say
David, actually.
Yeah, well, he better had me after you called him geeky but a tactical genius.
Brian's a loud one.
Do you not think that's a bit rude?
Well, I think Brian will have the main strategy ideas, but I think I see things slightly differently, so I'll be able to kind of make suppositions. All right.
We need to clear one potential area of confusion, two Steves, of course. So we're going to call you Creevy and you Oddy? Creevy and Oddy. It's what?
My street name.
Yeah, I haven't got a street name. Just Richard. OK, well, good luck, guys. Keeping a close eye on our team's tactics tonight will be our Time Commanders experts, and they are historical analyst Arik Nussbacher, senior lecturer in war studies at the Royal Military Academy in Sandhurst, and ancient historian and author Adrian Goldsworthy. Right, now, first thing you've got to do is listen up, because you're about to get your battle briefing. It's very important you pay attention, because everything these guys tell you is crucial.
You are going to try to prevent the Trojan War. It's the 13th century BCE, and you're going to be fighting on the east coast of the Aegean Sea in what's now Turkey.
From the 19th century, the site of Troy has been famously excavated by Schliemann and other archaeologists. But our battle today is much more inspired by the original, the first, and one of the greatest works of Western literature, Homer's epic poem, the Iliad.
Foremost in the Trojan army is Hector, son of King Priam. Hector's brother Paris has conducted a raid in Sparta where he has kidnapped Helen from her husband Menelaus. Menelaus has vowed revenge and is bringing a Greek army to Troy.
That army is led by Agamemnon, king of Mycenae. He's the brother of Menelaus, so there's a personal reason for this army to attack Troy. The city of Troy is situated on a limestone spur projecting into the Aegean Sea. It's very heavily fortified. The Trojans are going to come out and fight. This is not a siege. This is a battle on the plains outside the walls of Troy.
Agamemnon's Greek army has beached its ships on the narrow coastal strip near the town. If the Greeks can get to the floodplain in front of the town and defeat the Trojan army right away, then perhaps the 10-year Trojan War can be avoided.
Team, today you're going to be playing Agamemnon's Greek army. Your job is to meet the Trojan army in battle outside its walls and destroy it. If you can humiliate the Trojans so much, then you're not going to have to besiege the city. It'll all be over. They'll just surrender. Now, at the head of your army, you have a large number of chariots. In these are the wealthy aristocratic warriors, men like Agamemnon, men like Achilles and the other heroes of Homer's legendary story. These are very aggressive troops, they're very mobile, but you don't want to let them get caught into a slogging match attacking infantry from the front or anything like that.
You have armored Greek infantry with spears, you have Greek infantry with swords, and all of these, to a greater or lesser extent, have got to be seen to be fighting in the great fluid battle that we're going to see.
But you also have less aristocratic warriors, spearmen who can't afford much armor. They've got large shields, they've got helmets, very long spears. Now these are developing into what will become the Greek phalanx in later centuries. These men can fight, they can present a hedgerow of spears to their front, and they are very, very effective at fighting an enemy who's smack bang in front of them. They're vulnerable though on their flanks and at the rear. In support of those, you've got some slingers, archers, missile troops. You need to fight as a group. If you can, you want to prevent the enemy from doing the same thing.
So our strategy gamers will be the Greeks against the Trojans. What do you reckon, guys? Think you stand a chance? How are you feeling? Confident?
Pretty confident.
You were very confident earlier. Still confident?
Yep.
All right, well, you won't have the experts with you when you do this. Obviously, we take them away. But you do now have the chance to ask them just 2 questions. All I'll say is use them wisely, because after that, you're on your own. So, ask away.
Okay. What troops would you use to take out the heavy chariots that they have?
You can always shoot them. It doesn't do them any harm at all. It's a question of a combination. Use your chariots to lure them on, but try and get them to fight away from their main army, where you can use all of your stuff against them. And then it doesn't matter how heavy they are going to die.
Next question.
Is there anyone hiding in the dark forests?
I don't expect to find a lot of forest in this part of Turkey, but when you're out there, you've got to keep your eyes open. You've got to use your operators to look around this little theater of operations here and see what's out there. You've got a lot of recce capability because you've got these modern assets to use, the computers, the visibility, use it.
Absolutely right. That's good advice. OK, well, that's your questions, guys. I hope they were useful to you, because no more advice from our experts. Important job to do now. There are 4 of you. Only 2 will be generals and 2 will be captains. You might have your own ideas about who would be best for which roles, but they're irrelevant because our experts make the decision based on your profiles. So now is when we find out who will be in command and who will be taking the commands.
As a group, we all get on. We never really have any arguments or anything like that, and we're all pretty different as to how we think about things and the way we picture things. So I think we'll complement each other nicely.
Brian, today you are going to be a general.
Creevy, today you are a captain.
David, you are going to be a general.
And Oddy, today, just in case you can't guess, you're going to be a captain.
Will we win or lose the battle? I think it actually depends on Brian.